If you've seen a fair enough of my videos, you do know that I cannot stand maintaining any of my machines. However, if you are new here and you have never seen me before, hi, my name is Ashlee Falco, and I have a ton of really cool machineries in my craft room. I have lasers, I have UV printers, I have heat presses, I have some really cool white toner printers. I got it all. But there's one thing that I can't stand doing, and that is doing any type of maintenance ever. It kind of scares me. I have a really clean house, but cleaning my machines ain't for me. And now I'm sure you're wondering, why in the world is my xTool P3 taken apart? That's because this thing is broken. So this is a brand new machine. I've only had it in the craft room for a couple months, and I would say, I know you're gonna be like, it's longer than a couple months. I think I've had it for maybe 6 months. However, I still consider it brand new because there's very limited hours on this thing. I think maybe, and I can't double check because it's torn apart and I can't use it. I think maybe I only have like 4 working hours on this machine in total. So I would consider that to still be brand new. Now listen, here is the problem. I went to go use it the other day. And by the other day, I mean 2 weeks ago, because it's been that long to get this replacement part that you see right there. So 2 weeks ago, I turned this sucker on and I get a low water notification error. I said, that's weird. I know I followed the directions when I set this up. And so there should be no reason why I have low water in my tank. So I pull my machine out and lo and behold, I have a puddle of liquid on the ground of my craft room. Thank goodness I have hard floors and not carpet. But all of the liquid that was supposed to be in the tank was now on the floor so that my xTool P3 wouldn't work. So then I filled it back up. I don't know, because my husband wasn't home and I just was like, I know how to fix it. The fix is to put more liquid in it. So I went and got some more distilled water, put it in the tank, did what I needed to do. And then I waited until my husband came home and said, hey, look, this is what I saw. I cleaned up the mess. Then he goes and looks, and all the water that I had just put inside the tank is now outside of the tank. So I had to take it apart because xTool said, we need to see what that tank looks like. I am not joking you when there is legitimately 50 screws. This is a 1 cup of just screws. I have 2 here and we are not done, my friends, because now I have to replace the tank. But let me just show you what the inside of the xTool P3 looks like, because if you have ever been curious enough about what in the world is inside a laser and never curious enough to like take it apart, I could show you now because this thing is torn apart. All right, before I show you everything that's on the inside of this machine, let's look at all the parts. What's crazy to me is in order to get to the back of the machine or inside of the back of the machine, you have to take apart the front, the sides, then the back. Make it make sense. I was like, why do we have to do all this? I am not joking when I say that there is cups of screws. This is only for the back of the machine. All those screws are only for the back. I have them separated in cups because they're all different. The screws, and even like one's a hex and one's a Phillips, and then even like the heads of the screws are different. So I have them separated. This is only for the back of the machine. This is for the inside top. Also, make it make sense that not only do you have to take the front apart and then take the sides, you also have to open the lid and take off more screws on the back of the machine on the inside. So there's only 4 of them, but you still have to take them off in order to get to the back of the machine. Then we have the side casings. That's this right here. And my friends, we are not done because this right here is going to be the piece that my husband is going to have to take out to put in. And I say my husband because did you remember? I have a problem just doing regular maintenance on a machine. Could you imagine if I tried to fix this thing? That would probably send me in a tailspin. And listen, my husband, if there's one thing that you need to know about him, he can fix anything. I have full confidence in him. So he's going to take this bad boy apart. Do we have directions? No. I was given directions on how to take this apart to look at the back, but I was not given directions on how to replace this with the original one. So am I going to record it? Absolutely. Is he the one going to be in the screen the entire time? Absolutely. It ain't going to be me, folks. So you're going to get a really good sneak peek at my husband because he's going to be doing all the work. But anyways, let's go back to this. This is the front of the machine. It looks no different than when you would generally, you know how when you do the conveyor feeder, this is what that looks like. The only thing that's different is going to be the screws that were right here. So these screws had to come out because the sides had to come out. That's where those 4 screws are that were in that cup. So it's just here. Okay, so then this is what the side looks like. Let me roll this around. Okay, this is what the one side looks like. I mean, it's pretty clean on the inside, on this side at least. There isn't a whole lot of like, you know, excess wires or whatever. I don't know. I thought that maybe, you know, like you like look inside of like a car engine, if you will. If you've ever looked inside of a car engine, it kind of, you know, is interesting. I don't think this is very interesting. It just looks like metal with some wires. Okay, then going over to this side, I feel like this side is like the cool side besides the back, because it really does have a lot of like the computer parts, you know? This is where you would generally put your gas tank in. That's your fire safety thing. I just have a soda stream one in there, but it will all work the same. And then look at all these components. It's pretty cool, right? And then you got the key. Then you have this right here is the wireless Wi-Fi dongle thing that you can just hook it up via Wi-Fi, so it doesn't have to, you know, get plugged into a computer. But this is what this looks like. And then we got a really good view of the lens. Wow, so cool. Okay, this is what the back looks like. Yeah. There's really not much to see, my friends. So if you're curious, don't get curious enough to take it apart, because I don't think it's really worth it. But like, look at, if you're into this type of stuff, you know, like it's really cleanly made and stuff. Okay, so let me show you what is broken. This. And if you can see, it is cracked all the way through here. I do have some liquid in here. But what happens is when I turn the machine on, the liquid starts to bubble, right? And then it goes up into here and then it starts leaking out of the machine. So this right here, you can see it's cracked all the way up here. And then it's cracked through here all the way. So this is what the problem is right through here. So actually, if I were to put the case on, there on the back of the case, oh yeah, let me get up. On the back of the panel, oh, goodbye. This one, nope. Oh my word. Oh my goodness. Okay, on the back of, my word, now that we got that figured out. Okay, so on the back of the panel, you see this, right? That water is falling in this minimum. And if it falls in the minimum, the machine won't even run. So it has to be in this green in order to work. So up here, it's down here. That's where that water line is currently. So even if I were to try and turn this on and just leave it the way it is, it won't even run because the water is too low. So this is what my broken thing looks like. Okay. Now this is what it looks like when it's not broken. If you're curious, we have no cracks anywhere. That's exactly what we want to see. So this is what we're working with. He has to clearly plug in something, maybe take out a couple screws, plug this in somewhere. And then over here, there's going to be maybe 3 screws and this. Where he's going to do it, I don't know. It's definitely not going to be me. Look, there's the 3 screws. 1, 2, 3. So 3 screws plus he said there's something tight in there. And then This right here is gonna get plugged in somewheres. There's some extra screws in there. And yeah, he says that it's not gonna be hard. Nothing's hard for him. Everything's hard for me. I believe that he can do it, and he'll have this done. What do you think? He'll have this done in like an hour? I would say an hour. It'll take him an hour to take it apart and do all the things. I will be his supervisor. Maybe hold a flashlight for him. But he is going to be doing all the hard work for sure.
Okay.
All right, everyone, give a warm and friendly welcome to my husband, Matt. He is thriving in this little situation. He absolutely loves fixing anything, and then fixing anything for me is just like his dream job. So being able to bust out his tools and try and figure out how to fix my lasers is like something he just enjoys to do. But I don't think that he thought this job was going to be as intense as what it was. Now, I just stood in my craft room and cleaned up all of my other things that needed to be cleaning because I didn't want him to be sitting in there all by himself while I just like sat on the couch and scrolled on TikTok, you know?
We're like half done. I mean, not half done. We're half done getting 6 screws out.
No joke. If you see yourself inside this situation that I'm in, get yourself a friend that has really small hands. Okay. First clip was 19 minutes long. This clip is 15 minutes long. I will give you timestamps or talking about the time here in a bit, but I'm just letting you know small fingers would definitely do you wonders. Also, everything is backwards. So the screws, to unscrew the screw, you have to go right. So you know how it's like righty-tighty, lefty-loosey? No, throw that out the window, because when we're taking this apart, it's righty-loosey, lefty-tighty. Make it make sense. Also, since my husband has like caveman hands, he asked me for help, and my solution to how to see in there is this. Yep, I sure did stick that flashlight in my mouth. Kind of wish I had 3 hands, but God only gave me 2, so I guess I'm going to use my mouth as the good old third hand. Not only are you going to have small hands and also a flashlight, you are also going to need some wire clippers or like zip tie clippers of some sort, because there's a ton of zip ties that you have to take off. Then you're going to have to keep unscrewing things. If you think you're done unscrewing, you are not. It is wild. I kind of wish that they would have just sent a whole new machine. I'm just joking. The machine costs thousands of dollars, but oh my gosh, the amount of things that we were continuously finding that we are going to have to take apart is far more than just 6 screws. So crazy. All right, we have gotten to the point now where pretty much the entire thing is disassembled. We are 87 minutes in. We have not taken the tank out. Every single time we try, we find more stuff that we have to take apart. Here is the cylinder. If you're at all curious of what the actual CO2 cylinder looks like, pretty beastie.
Very impressive.
Very impressive.
I get this little metal magnet.
Yeah, there's like a metal magnet piece that's right. Point to it. It's like right
here.
Yeah, we got to take that off.
And come all the way down here.
Trace it back.
Come back to here, and then we got to pull this completely out. Disconnect the power. Well,
yeah, they can't hear you.
The battery.
Yeah. So we have 2 things that are back there. There's like 2, I don't know, water tube looking things, plus also a black cord that goes right there. And then we have 2 electrical battery operators, something or another on the left-hand side. 87 minutes in, friends, and we just keep having to take things apart instead of putting it back together. I think this might be a 2-day project because I'm already over it. I need a Diet Coke. Did I forget to mention that it's also Friday? We're not supposed to be working on Fridays, but here we are, living the dream. Once you finally get to a point where everything is disconnected besides one water hose, which is the one that goes up to the cylinder, you're pretty much, it's going to be like a swift, easy motion going from the bad tank to the good tank. You just have to make sure to not make a mess. There's some sort of blue liquid that's inside this tube. So this is definitely a two-man job, my friends. Okay. You can see that I had the old one sitting on my lap and then the new one sitting on top of that. And so my husband was able to like disconnect and then reconnect it real quick without spilling any water. So that was really cool. And then putting it back together is far easier than taking it apart. But I do have to tell you that there was a screw in the right side in the very back that was an absolute nightmare to take apart or to take off. We did not put it in there. We did not put it back because this clip is 56 minutes long. 56 minutes. And putting that one screw in probably would have taken another 56 minutes. So we are missing a screw, but I think that's okay. I made the executive decision that that was okay. All right, we've gotten to the point now where he's fixed it. Yep. Or at least he thinks he fixed it. We haven't turned it on yet.
That's true.
So.
Never know with that, right?
We never know. So we've gotten to the point now where we're going to assemble the entire casing. And he still won't let me just call this a day, bring it back tomorrow so we can get a Diet Coke instead. It is Friday. It is now 1:42. And he said we got to keep working.
That's right. Gotta get her done.
Unfortunately. So, assembling this. At this point in time, it takes another 27 and a half minutes to get the entire casing put back together. I feel like I have spent most of my Friday working. We don't work on Fridays, I have to tell you. I think it's great to start our weekend early. We don't, well, technically we do work a little bit on Saturday mornings, but I like not working on Fridays. But today is one of those days where I guess we had to. But anyways, 27 and a half minutes to put all the casing together. We are not missing any screws off of any of that. We put all the screws back that needed to go back besides that one single screw that I did not want it to listen, it was going to take me far too long to put that stupid screw in the very back, and I just needed my Diet Coke. We're going to fill her up with antifreeze on a different day. Today is not that day for that. Yep. It's back together. Hopefully. All right, so it's the next day. I have officially showered and also put my big girl panties on because this is, I feel like, the hardest part, and it's making sure that the actual machine works. It is Saturday. It is 10:30. I'm supposed to be taking my son to the movies here in like an hour or two. So if this doesn't work, I don't really have much time to troubleshoot any of that. So we are just going to hope that it works. So the directions to refill the tank, if you were at all curious about how to set this up, they list the directions in the original, like when you get it, but you get some antifreeze. It's the same. This is the same bottle that they send you for every CO2 machine. So I still have some left over. And then this is going to be a controversial thing. In xTool's directions, it tells you to get purified drinking water. So we got purified drinking water. However, I'm sure there's going to be someone that comments it needs to be distilled or something or another. Listen, I'll follow the directions that is written to me in their guide. If you want to put something else in your tank, by all means, that's on you. Okay, some people feel like xTool's directions are not correct. I would argue that they know what they're saying. Okay, so I'm going to be putting purified drinking water in my tank. I got some leftover antifreeze from when I set this up before. Let's fill up this tank and let's see if this bad boy actually works now. Okay, let's do it. All right, I'm just going to pull this out. Having this entire thing on wheels is really amazing. Funnel that came with the machine. We are going here. So we're going to open this, put this in here. And just to verify that I know what I'm doing, quick start guide, we're gonna go to where we fill up the tank. Right here, okay. Fill up the tank, purified water. Okay, so, okay, I need 240 milliliters. So let's see here, 560. So I need to be about here. So taking this out. All right. It is where I need it to be. So we're going to cap this, move this away. We got the purified drinking water and we need to go all the way to the very top of the line that's right here. All right, we are good. Tank is filled up, so let's push it back to the wall and plug this bad boy in. Okay, I'm not gonna push this up against the wall all the way because I probably am going to attempt to cut if it will cut. And I have to put the vent out of the window. So we're just gonna turn this on, plug this in, turn this on, see if it actually turns on. Okay, so I'm gonna turn it on. The reason why you are here is because here, if you get any type of error notice, you'll know why there's an error right here. So let's turn this on. Fingers crossed, let's go. It's starting up. I hear a blower. The xTool's turning on. I hear it bubbling. All right, it's turned on. We got a couple beeps, that's normal. Okay, well, it lifted. So what I'm gonna do, since we are technically working, right, is I am going to attempt to do a cut. I have to say that this is running a lot louder than it ever has. Like it's never been this, it's really loud. It's not really loud. Like I had a Glowforge and the Glowforge was definitely a lot louder, but it's running louder than it normally did. Okay, wait, it's not running loud anymore. So I wonder if that was just because it was starting up for like the first time, because it definitely has calmed down. It's not pushing as hard. All right, you can see I was actually doing a project recently on the M2. So I'm just gonna press finish, open up a new tab. We'll connect to the P3 and switch. All right, this is just a random scrap piece of wood that I have. Okay, so I'm gonna lay that in here. It's all on automatic mode. All right, my favorite test shape to test anything is a star. So I'm going to cut this out. And then unknown material is going to be this plywood. All right, and let's just engrave this as well, just to see how well everything is, you know, performing. All right, I'm just gonna do those two. So I'm gonna press process. I do have my gas cylinder in there. I do have the fan. I just got to turn it on. So I'm going to press start. Okay, I'm going to turn my fan on. And then I'm going to press the go button. I mean, it seems to be working. It's working. I didn't get an error notice. It's engraving right now. It's gonna do a cut here after it's done doing this. And the tank seems to be holding just fine. Well, I definitely think she's fixed. She ran, She didn't engrave, she didn't cut, and the tank in the back is holding fine with water. I'm going to keep an eye on that just to make sure that, you know, it doesn't start leaking here in a little bit. But I mean, it's still full, which the other one, you would immediately know if it was leaking. So we have a cut. This is no different than any other cut that I would have gotten before, and then an engrave that obviously needs to have some settings adjusted because we do have a little bit of soot that's right here. But all in all, I think that all that hard work and all the dramatics that I did was for nothing because it's working just fine. Whew. But that did take a really long time to complete. Things that I would highly suggest is getting yourself smaller tools to fit into the smaller crevices if you ever have one of these issues. And then obviously someone that has smaller hands, because it's really tight getting in there. But otherwise, the other thing that you are going to need is just a set of patience, because I was over it before we even got the first tank out of the machine. I'm sure you could have told. You could tell. I'm sure you could. Well, my friends, thank goodness that the machine is still working and we got it back to working. And I do not want to see another maintenance thing in a very long time. I'm sure you're with me. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.